You know, guys, still getting over having the bug. I'm going to call this video with friends like them. I'm still thinking about my childhood and about some of the kids I used to know. Now, kids can be cruel, we all know this. I know it better than anyone because I was a kid once and I was cruel. But I always think that looking back, I had a good heart. I told lies, but only usually to get me out of the shit. You know, to stop me getting a beating. Or to cover somebody else's back. You know, lying on behalf of others. I had one kid who I was close friends with. His name was John. I'll fucking name and shame the cunt. And I thought we were good mates. And one day I've come into school and we sat there and he said, "Have you been into the toilets?" I was like, "Not yet." He said, "Go and have a look. Go and have a look what's in there." So I've put my hand up and I've said, "Miss, can I pop to the toilet?" She said, "Off you trot." And I've gone in and there was a shit in the sink. Now it looked like a dog shit, like a dog turd. Big and lumpy and hard. And I've come back and, you know, we've had a good laugh about this. And I didn't know we'd put it there, I didn't even think about it. But the teacher caught wind of this, you know, because it started to go around. There's a shit in the sink. And this kid that I'm sat next to, my friend, John, the teacher's looking around and asking who's done this. And he pointed at me. He said, "He's done it." And I've looked at him, I said, "You what?" And she said to me, the teacher, "Grandaddy, you can stay in at dinner time. We'll talk about this." And she brought another teacher in, Mr. Powell. I'll name and shame him too. Now, he had a habit of sticking his hands down his pants and then sniffing his fingers. And he'd rub it in his beard. And it's like he was getting off on the scent of himself. He was well shady. And they both sat there and they're interrogating me at dinner time. They're like, "Why have you done that?" And I said, "I haven't. John told me about the shit in the sink." And they were like, "Come off it, you've done that." I said, "I didn't do it." And they're looking at each other. And it's like watching Miss fucking Marple with, I don't know, Columbo fucking sat there watching me. Dempsey and Makepeace, the cunts. Looking at me and going, "Is something going on at home? Is there something we should know about? What's made you do this? What disgusting behaviour?" And I keep sitting there saying, "I haven't shat in the sink." I said, "It's a dog turd for a start, can't you tell the difference?" And they're sitting there tutting and shaking their head. And they were like, "We're disgusted with you. We're alarmed. We're put out by this. You know, we've got a good mind to talk to your mother about this." And I said, "Do that. Get her in here. And, you know, 'cause she can stick up for me. She knows I'm bad, but I'm not that bad." And eventually they've said, "Well, we know you're a liar. And we know that you've got a problem doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let you go out and play with your friends. You know, but just know that we know that you're dirty and disgusting. And we feel very let down by you. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And you're a liar on top." And I've gone out and I've wanted to bash this kid. But his mum was a fucking nutter. She was. I remember once I was at school in the playground and his mum was waiting there at the end of the playground. And she's looking at me through the barbed wire fence and she said, come here. She's beckoned me over. I was about 5 at the time. And I've gone over and I've gone, "Hello." She said, come here. And she's fucking grabbed me, put her hands through. And she's grabbed me, put her hands through the fence and pulled me towards her, and I could smell the beer on her. She was all beery. She was like, "You've taught my son to swear. You've taught him dirty words. You're nasty. You better stay away from my son. You're disgusting. I'll fucking knock your block off." She's giving it all of that. And I was like, golly gosh. So I was scared of John's mum, being a pisshead. And I was going, like I said, I was going to bash him for this. But I thought, I don't need her giving me more shit. So I let it slide. Now, years afterwards, I wrote about this in an exam paper. I've called it The Basin Boy. And I've written this tale about being accused of shitting in the toilet, in the sink in the toilets. And I was like, I'm disgusted by the teachers. It never left me, this thing. I was like, the school system's a drag. Your teachers are potty. They're off the tits. I got a great grade for it. They said extremely well written. Well done. I was like, yeah, a bit of honesty. You don't probably usually get it. But I had lots of friends like this. I had a friend called Paul. And my dad didn't like Paul because he accused him of stealing a porno mag from my house once. He said, don't bring him round here again. That fucking Irish kid. He didn't like the Irish anyway, but he was like, keep him away from here. I don't want him darkening this door again. So Paul used to have to wait down the end of the road for me to come out. And I remember once he said to me that there was girls hanging around, and I was about 8 or 9. And he said, he was messing with this bike. I should have known better. He said, do you want to have a go on it? And I was jealous because I didn't have a bike at the time. I was like, yeah, go on, I'll have a go. And I got on it, and I'm riding down the road full pelt. It only loosened the front wheel. It came fucking flying off. And I'm skidding down the road, but fucking terrified. There's sparks flying everywhere. And I managed to somehow not hurt myself. And I chased him fucking home. And his mum and dad weren't in. And I could see him. I was looking through his living room window and he was sat there, laughing in his chair. Thought it was hilarious. And then his little brother came back. And I said, let me in. He went, why? I said, because I'm going to fucking bash him. And he did, because he didn't like his older brother. So he's let me in, and this Paul's gone running up the stairs like a fucking scaredy cat. And I've ran up and I've grabbed him and I've beat the shit out of him on his bed. And for some reason, I continued to be friends with this kid years after that. But he was always shady. He was always up to fucking with me and lying and, telling tales and saying things like he wanks dogs off and stuff like that. And getting me into trouble with lads I didn't know, older lads, that all of a sudden, out of the blue, wanted to beat the shit out of me. And I was like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. And they were like, yeah, well, he said. This is one of my best friends, Paul. I'm telling you, when I was at school, I was surrounded by these fucking creeps. And I was handy with my fists. So they'd usually get a fucking slap for doing this. I mean, Paul, I met him because I moved into a house on the same street as him. And he was hanging around on the streets, watching me and my brother and sister having a good laugh, playing football or whatever, and he wanted to join us, wanted to play. And he infiltrated his way in. And we let him into the fold. And eventually I found out how much of a slimy fucking turd he was. And how he couldn't be trusted. And like I said, I had loads of friends like this that were always bullshitting about me. I had one friend that I was very close to. And he got a girlfriend when we were about 16, 17. And she didn't like, I'd never met her. But people kept saying she doesn't like you. I was like, how can she not fucking like me? I've never met the cunt. Well, she's heard about you. He's been telling tales. Because he knew my reputation. You know, because I'd have had me way with her. He was a slimy piece of shit. And if I'd have had 5 minutes alone with her, I'd have told her. But he's put fucking shit in the soup. And he's stirred it all up. And he said to her, like, you can't trust him. He's a rotter. And I found out about this afterwards. And I said to him, like, how can you do this? Like, I'm just finding out now that you've been going round spreading rumours about me, telling people that I'm all sorts. Now, I found out later that it was just pure jealousy with the guy. And we were out one night. We must have been about 18 years old. And somebody was smoking the reefer. Not for me, that. Not at the time. I'm just stood there having a beer, playing pool. You know, enjoying myself as much as I can, surrounded by these creeps. And he starts, like, saying, come on, we'll go out and we'll smoke reefer with this other kid. So we go out and I have a couple of tokes and he has a couple of tokes. Well, it went to his head. It messed with him, mixed with the booze. He was fueled by it. And he started to play fight with everybody around him. You know, latent homosexuality. Trying to touch you, just trying to get close. And he was skinny and bony, and if he got you in the headlock, it hurt because it was all ribs and angular, and it'd dig in. And he's messing around with everyone. He comes up to me, and he starts messing with me, pushing me, starts telling me he never liked me, all this kind of stuff. I thought we were best friends. And I was embarrassed because everyone was watching. And he was like, these are my friends, not yours. Like, nobody really liked it. Starts giving it all of that. And I said to him, come here, let's go round the corner and, you know, we'll just have a little chat, just you and me. You know, away from all of these, this is embarrassing. So we've walked round the corner and I've got my hands in my pockets. I don't mean to do any harm. But he kept pushing me and saying, come on, let's do it. Let's have a scrap. I've never liked you. And he's getting up in my face, pushing me, giving me shit. And it was an involuntary act, but I fucking nutted him. And I've spread his nose across his whole fucking face. And then these other kids have come running round the corner and seen what's gone on, and they're like, how could you? And he's walked off crying. And I felt terrible, and I walked home with it. I was like, he kept going, fuck off. And I was like, no, I didn't. You know, I was trying to calm things down. You know, I thought we were friends. And by the time we got back to his house, he'd confessed it all. That he'd always been jealous of me. It was like, you've got it all, ain't you? You've got the charm, the looks. You know, you're talented. You're skillful. Everything you put your hand to, you're good at. Not like me, and he's feeling sorry for himself. And his nose is a fucking running mess. And we get back to his house, and I'm like, let's hug it out, like, I'm sorry. You know, it's just one of them, I apologise. And I did that. And then I started to hear through the grapevine that he was still bitching about me. Still telling lies, making shit up. And eventually I just cut ties with the guy. I was like, he's fucking poison. Now, he's still in the world. All of these dickheads are. And they're all druggies. You know, hard drugs. Because they're all fucking losers. He's a fucking drunkard. He always was. Raising a family now. And I heard tales about him. Things that he'd got up to, more lies that he'd told, more trouble that he caused, shagging around, going from one to the other, a right worm tongue. And I was like, I'm pleased that I got away from him. And Paul went on to have about 20 fucking kids. God knows what a fucking mess that is and what they're like. And John, I got closer. I didn't see John for a while, and I saw him again. You know, the kid who accused me of shitting in the fucking sink. I saw him years afterwards. He was stocking shelves in a supermarket, and I felt sorry for the cunt because he had no friends and everything. He was like, "Do you want to hang out tonight? Do you want to come round for a drink?" And I did. And he had such a pathetic life. And his mum, the fucking drunkard, the loony, she hadn't changed. His dad hadn't. None of them had changed. And I'd go round there and it'd be like I'd dipped a toe into hell. It's like these people are all fucking skewiffy. There's something wrong with them. You know, what's normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. So I've got my own set of problems. I've got my own weird shit. My family have got their, issues. But I was like, I'm pleased I'm not him. And I'm pleased I'm not around them. What a bunch of fucking loonies. And like I said, I learnt my lesson. That I wasn't to have friends, really. I could have people that I could get on with and share a joke with and work alongside, but not get too close to and not be really of any help to them. I'm not there if you need me. Fuck you. All the best. I don't expect them to be there for me. Like, I keep a close distance. I'm friendly on the surface. But again, there's always that brick wall that I've put up, and I'm not going to bring it down. I'm happy to have one friend, Jesus, and I keep walking with him. And it's as simple as that. He's the only friend that I want. He's the only friend that I need. I've had loads of what you would call friends over the years, but I never considered them to be friends. People would say, he's your friend, who cares? I don't give a shit. I don't need him. My life's full. I'm surrounded by people. People that I love. And I don't need extraneous bullshit. More lumps of shit on top of the sick that these people introduced into my life. Because everyone I ever got close to like that turned out to be shit. Turned out to be lying, jealous, deceitful, hateful, backstabbing, nefarious, malevolent, mischievous, menacing and dark and cruel, nasty. And I learned to be by myself. I've got family, I've got loved ones. Like I said, I've got people that I like. But I don't get too close to outsiders. I can't risk it. Because it's like to just set you up for failure. To drag you back down if they see you getting anywhere. They'll get you in trouble. It's like telling your co-workers all your deepest, darkest fucking fears. They just make it worse, run into management and telling them shit. You stay away. Keep things to yourself. And that old saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And I do that. I treat my enemies very fucking well. And they've got no idea that I can't fucking stand them. And that I don't trust them. And I tell them what I want them to know. And it's as simple as that. I've got no problem doing it. I'm all right with that. But yeah, be very careful, in this life, who you choose to make as your bedfellows, your buddies. Because oftentimes, they'll turn out to be fucking evildoers. Simple as that.